Good afternoon, Trump's family. Welcome back to my channel. Have a good day and God bless you. Let's get into the news. And as we continue to keep an eye on Kevin McCarthy and of course the House Republicans as they have told us, they're going to keep their promises, we are going to hold them to that. And one of those promises were to ensure that Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell, Ilhan Omar would not be able to serve on some of these committees that wield a lot of power, and so far looks like Kevin McCarthy is holding to that promise. And the media, the pundit class, and of course, Democrats in the House are furious because Adam Schiff is not going to return to the Intelligence Committee along with, of course, Eric Partswell, and Ilhan Omar is not going to the Foreign Committee or whatever. So that's fantastic news that this is taking place right now. And you're using the power of the majority to go ahead and damage your opponents, and this is what the Democrats have been doing. And then they play all coy when it's done to them. The media sits there and takes up for them. Now stand strong and continue to kick these people off committees where they can do damage to the American people. So let's kind of dive into this article. So let's go take a look what we have here. It says Speaker McCarthy moves to remove Eric Swalwell, Adam Schiff and Ilhan Omar from congressional committees. That's right. McCarthy told reporters on Monday that Democrat Representative Schiff Swalwell and serial liner Adam Schiff will not be serving on committees that they served on previously. McCarthy confirmed this with reporters on Monday night. Eric Swalwell famously had a relationship with Chinese spy Feng Fong. Ilhan Omar broke federal immigration laws when she married her brother, and Adam Schiff is a serial liar and a favorite of the far-left media, and he likes to leak classified information. CNN reported how Speaker Kevin McCarthy said on Monday night that Democrats Representative Schiff, Swalwell, and Omar will not be members of the committees they previously served on. Schiff chaired as the House Intelligence Committee during the last Congress, when Democrats controlled the majority. Swalwell was a member of the same panel. Those two won't be on until, McCarthy said, and referring to Schiff and Swalwell. Omar previously served on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Kevin McCarthy made his promise in November before he was Speaker. So yes, that is fantastic. I want them to cope. I want them to seeds. I want them to cry even more. This is how you wield power. This is how you sit there and you take it to the individuals who have tried to damage you during the time that they wield the power, and they didn't think it was going to come back to anything, was going to come back and bite them when they kicked off individuals off the committees when we were trying to see it, people. So this is how it is done. You want to go this way, you want to go down this route. Be careful for what you wish for, because it will be utilized you against when the power is restored to the other party, and that's what Republicans warned Democrats about when they decided to go down that route. And now that we are seeing the fruits of their labors, what they reaped, they are now sowing. Fantastic. Continue the pressure on the Democrat Party, the Biden regime, and of course the mainstream media. And some significant news: House passes rule package and formalizes McCarthy's agreement with holdouts. The House on Monday adopted rules for the 118 Congress, which contains agreements made between now Speaker Kevin McCarthy and his Republican detractors during last week's historic speaker battle. The rules package, which includes numerous changes to the last Congress as rules, was passed newly on party lines with 220 votes to 213. Representative Tony Gonzalez was the lone Republican to join all Democrats in voting against the packet. Changes made to last Congress as rules are aimed at reducing government spending, increasing legislative transparency, and shifting power away from leadership and toward rank-and-file members. McCarthy said in a statement following the rules passage, quotes, "Rules that empower members to debate and legislate are replacing rules that silence the voice and centralized power. Rules that increased transparency are replacing rules that kept lawmaking hidden behind closed doors, and rules that reopen Congress to we the people are replacing rules like proxy voting that kept this floor empty. The rules include keeping net spending under the current level through the next 10 years. They require a supermajority to vote to pass tax increases, a 72-hour notice on legislation before it can be considered, and a one-member threshold to place a motion to vacate the chair, a rule that had been a point of contention last week as mechanic Republican opposers pushed to lower the threshold from 5 to 1. The rules exclude the option for members to vote by proxy and limit virtual appearances in committees to witness at the discretion of the committee chair. The rules also make several changes to committees, including changing the Committee on Oversight and Reform to the Committee on Oversight, and accountability that necessitate the consideration of two committee-related resolutions want to establish a powerful select subcommittee on the weaponization of the federal government to the House under the Judiciary Committee and want to establish a select committee examining the strategic competition between the United States and the CCP Freedom Caucus. Representative Scott Perry said in a statement about the Republican success in passing the rules package, that the vote ratified a historic transformational agreement to restore the People's House back to the American people. He continues, for the first time in a generation, conservatives have the tools to stop trillions and reckless spending, special interest handouts, secret last-minute deals, and other abusive and irresponsible practices. Most importantly, we again have the ability to hold our leadership accountable on their promises to the American people to dismantle the. By contrast, Wills Committee ranking member, Representative Jim McGovern disapproved of the package, bashing it as deeply flawed on the House floor just ahead of the vote. Joe Biden left classified documents in an old office when Attorney General Merrick Garland announced November 18 that he had named a special prosecutor to investigate President Donald Trump's handling of classified documents found at the Mar-a-Lago compound. The government harbored a fresh secret. Joe Biden was in a similar situation. Just 2 weeks earlier, Biden's lawyers disclosed to government lawyers on November 2, just 6 days before the midterm elections, that they have found sensitive government documents with classified markings inside of an office that Biden used at the Penn Biden Center think tank in Washington after he left office as Barack Obama's vice president. Attorney General Merrick Garland assigned to U.S. Attorney to review the roughly 10 classified documents found in the old office. The public was kept in the dark about the startling discovery until just this week, when the White House confirmed it was cooperating with an investigation launched by the Justice Department at the request of the same National Archives that has tussled with Trump over the last year. Once Biden's attorneys found the documents, they notified the National Archives, who reportedly referred the matter to the U.S. Department of Justice, leading to Garland's appointment of U.S. Attorney John Loosh to investigate the classified documents that ended up in Biden's old office. The classified documents were reportedly in a folder that was in a box with other unclassified materials. Representative Ronnie Jackson, a former White House physician, went even further to suggest that Biden was a hypocrite. His administration, guilty of a double standard on the whole episode, possibly was a national security risk. He took to Twitter to say, Biden knew for years that he's been storing highly classified documents in his personal office. He knew it when the FBI agents were writing Mar-a-Lago, and he knew it when he appointed a partisan special counsel. He knew it the whole time, but he still had his DOJ goons persecute Trump. Trump posted on Truth Social, when is the FBI going to read the many houses of Joe Biden but how receiving the White House? These documents were definitely not declassified. House Republicans pounced on the revelations of Allen, a vigorous investigation, and noting Biden's prior comments. Biden has stated that taking classified documents from the White House is irresponsible. James Comer said. California Democrat Representative Katie Porter announced the Senate bid and possible Feinstein primary challenge. California Representative Katie Porter on Tuesday announced a 2024 Senate bid setting up a potential primary challenge to fellow Democrats Senator Dianne Feinstein. Feinstein, who at 89 is the oldest sitting member of Congress, has not said whether she is running for re-election. Last year she faced questions from the media and anonymously from within her own party about whether she still has the stamina and mental capacity to be a senator. The real question is whether I'm still an effective representative for 40 million Californians. She responded in April. She continues, on the record shows that I am. Porter said on Monday, California needs a warrior in the Senate to stand up to special interests by the dangerous imbalance of our economy and so-called leaders like Mitch McConnell accountable for rigging our democracy. Porter said in a tweet about her campaign launch, she won re-election in November by about 8,000 votes. Education Department proposing cutting student loan repayments in half. The Education Department announced on Monday a proposal to cut undergraduate student loan repayments in half and stop unpaid interest from being charged. While the Biden administration student loan forgiveness plan is stalling in court, the department is moving forward with reconstructing loan payments in line with Biden's executive order. Right now, borrowers earning less than $24,000 annually do not have to make student loan payments, and monthly payments are limited to 10% of a borrower's discretionary income. The new plan would not require payments from borrowers making less than $30,000 a year, and the monthly payments will be capped at 10% of the borrower's income. Quotes. Today, the Biden-Harris administration is proposing historic changes that would make student loan repayment more affordable and manageable than ever before, said Education Secretary Miguel Cardona. He continues, quote, "We cannot return to the same broken system we had before the pandemic, when 1 million borrowers defaulted on their loans a year and snowballing interest left millions owing more than they initially borrowed. The proposal would also ensure that borrowers making monthly payments will not be charged unpaid interest. It is unclear whether interest will be charged to those not making payments due to their income level. Students who take out less than $12,000 will have all of their debt canceled after 10 years, while every additional $1,000 borrowed would add a year until the debt is canceled under the new plan. Majority believe $1.7 trillion omnibus bill was a disaster for America. Half of the likely voters in the United States said they disapprove of the Democrat-led $1.7 trillion 4,000-page omnibus spending bill that was rammed through Congress last month to fund the government at the same time. Most agree it is a, quote, disaster for America. A Rasmussen Reports poll found that half at 50% of the respondents disapprove of the stunning bill passed by Congress last month that was signed into law shortly after, only 45% of the likely voters that they approve of the massive spending package. 18 Republican senators voted with the Democrats to pass the bloated omnibus spending bill in the Senate, which sent it to the House of Representatives before it went to Joe Biden to be signed into law. The bill also included billions in aid for Ukraine. Additionally, 61% of the respondents agreed with President Donald Trump's description of the bill when he called it a monstrosity and a disaster for our country, about a third at 32%. So they disapprove of Trump's characterization of the spending bill. Furthermore, with the national debt now being over $31 trillion, the poll found 76% who said they were concerned about its size, with 53% of them saying they were very concerned. The poll was taken from January 2 to 4, with 1,000 likely voters in the United States and a 3% margin of error. There was also a 95% level of confidence. Thank you very much. WWG1WGA. Give me your thoughts below and hit